Today we have a special guest and author of C.R. Patterson and Sons, Chris Nelson.
Thank you for having me.
What's up, Chris? What's up, Bigfoot? Bigfoot, you got some questions. I hope you have answers.
I hope so too.
Okay, so he wants to get straight into it. What inspired you to write about C.R. Patterson and Sons?
Okay. Well, I mean, I grew up the next town over from the town where this historic, story happened. And I got very interested in the story, hearing the oral history growing up. And when I was doing my master's thesis, I went a little bit deeper into the research, and I started discovering a whole other side of the story that people didn't really talk about. And it just became that much more interesting to me.
It's awesome. So is that what initially drew you to the story, or what can you say kind of drew you closer to wanting to work on that?
Yeah, well, I was getting my master's degree in industrial archaeology and history, which is a mixture of archaeology and history. And I decided to go more of a historical route since I'd already done one thesis in archaeology. And nobody had really talked much about the technical details of all the different vehicles they built and their factory and all of that. So as an industrial person, I was going to add that stuff in. But then when I got into the research, so much new stuff popped up. And I was like, I've got to tell more of the story.
It's interesting.
Oh, yeah.
You think that's cool, Bigfoot? Yeah, I think that's cool, too. And he also wants to ask you about any things that would come to our surprise or just little known things about C.R. Patterson and Sons that readers might find it intriguing.
Okay. I mean, a lot of people know that they were the first and only black-owned auto manufacturer when they built a car in 1915.
Let's give it up for that.
However, they did way more stuff than that. I mean, they built carriages and buggies for 50 years before moving into car manufacturing. And then they shifted to buses and trucks at the end of World War I and made another 20 years. So they were in business for 74 years through 3 generations of this family. And but there's things they did outside the business that, was a real surprise, like breaking color barriers in education, sports, politics. They helped Booker T. Washington found the Negro Business League in 1900. And Frederick Patterson, who built the car, served as vice president under Booker for the first decade of the league.
Wow.
And Frederick was also the first black football player at The Ohio State University. So, I mean, way ahead of his time.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
A lot of history there.
Oh, yeah.
Bigfoot, you think that's cool? Yeah. So that book is on sale, by the way, at Amazon.
Yes.
$18.99. Clap it up for that. Y'all go to Amazon, get the book.
Please.
How did researching and writing about the history of C.R. Patterson and Sons influence your understanding of African-American entrepreneurship?
Well, I mean, especially for the time that this was going on. I mean, it was a challenge for a black businessman to try to compete in a white-dominated business world, especially in manufacturing enterprises. There just were not a lot of black manufacturers. And, so, I mean, it really helped open my mind to, the struggles that they had to go through and overcome, and the fact that the Pattersons had the audacity to challenge those norms for the time and, and succeed. So, I mean, they were some pretty good people. I mean, they had a lot of drive to them.
No, that's amazing. Bigfoot, what you got? Got another question? I got you. Do you believe that the legacy of C.R. Patterson and Sons still kind of contribute to our society today? And in what ways, if so?
Oh, I mean, absolutely. I mean, just the resiliency they had, it should inspire all of us, black or white, to just, if you have a goal, you have a dream, you go for it.
Yep.
I mean, that's what the Pattersons did. And I mean, sometimes they had to transition from one part of their transportation industry, to another to survive. But I mean, they did that. I mean, they survived for 74 years. Not a lot of businesses can say that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just an inspiration.
Yeah, definitely. Bigfoot's all about inspiration, ain't that right, Bigfoot? And motivation. He look at him, his shalom.
Yes.
He's in there. Hey, finally though, and I know this is a big deal for Bigfoot, but advice. He always wants advice. He needs advice all the time. But what advice would you have for aspiring writers or historians like yourself? Just when it comes to shedding light on stories like these, or just the general research that you do, what kind of advice would you have to offer?
Always dig deeper. I mean, especially something like Black history from that period. I mean, it was pretty much swept under the rug. It was hidden for the most part. You're not going to find it in modern day history books for the most part. It wasn't talked about a lot. And so, you know, what you find out there on the internet today is not necessarily the true story. You know, they closed down in 1939, and most of my sources are from 1939 or before, because I had to go that far back to find the actual story. And the Patterson family descendants, they've helped me. They've given me information that nobody else in the world even knows about, you know, or would have seen. And it was just so helpful to me. And that was from digging and making contacts with these people and everything. And it's just, the story came together. I mean, it's an absolutely wonderful story.
That's amazing. Hey, Bigfoot, we're running out of time with Chris, but I know we're going to have him back later. We probably have a movie to talk about where C.R. Patterson's and Sons are concerned. So until next time, Chris, take care. We definitely thank you for coming onto the show, and we'd love to have you back.
All right, everybody, stay tuned. Big things coming from Bright Morning Star Films and Parade Stormer Productions on the Patterson movie Driven. Yeah.